harnessing the power of social media to support your chances of getting into a selective college or university in the United States. That is the topic of today's video and a number of other videos I've done in this series. This will be the last video I do in this series, and what a wild, wonderful, strange trip it has been. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. We've covered LinkedIn, we've covered Instagram and YouTube, we've covered TikTok, we've covered Facebook, and today we are going to cover X. X marks the spot, formerly known as Twitter. We'll also touch a little bit on some of the other platforms you may be considering or may be already on. Maybe it's stuff like Snapchat and also Discord and Reddit. But let's focus first on X. X is, a scary little letter. And a lot of X marks the spot jokes I could make, or X is a big variable in algebra, as you know. It can be good, it can be bad variable. So think of X like that. X is interesting. It's good insofar as unless you have a premium account, you can only write so much per tweet, or what was formerly known as a tweet. I guess it's now called a post. But you can only write out so many characters before your post is finished. So that's good in the sense that there's only so much rope you give yourself to make a mistake in each individual post. But the downside of Twitter/X is that, it's a wild world out there. There's a lot of different subgroups and cultures germinating on X, and it is one of the biggest negatives, honestly, is that most in the admissions field don't like X. I mean, let's be honest. They don't love the owner of X right now. They don't love the direction of X since it no longer was Twitter. And the vast majority of admissions officers, regardless of what school they work at, many of them actually even advocated for within their offices for their college admissions office and or college or university to suspend operations or Xing or tweeting after Mr. Musk took over. So these are individuals who have an axe to grind in many cases with X. And yeah, a lot of this does stem from politics and the overarching political persuasion of most college admissions officers is that of being left of center or at most center. And as a result, rightly or wrongly, I'm just calling it as I see it, the view has been that X has become less conducive of a space toward individuals of the perspective of many of the admissions officers, rightly or I'm not saying that's true or not, but that is the general talk amongst that population. And a number of individuals obviously have dropped X as individuals and as institutions and moved on to what I guess is the Facebook competitor. I think it's called Threads or something, which is like through Instagram or Meta. So without getting into the politics of all this, but it is important for you to understand, like, your audience is most likely to be someone who maybe is already dubious about the value of X. And so if you are going to have a social media presence on X, that could all of a sudden give you a scarlet X on your shirt there, right? Like, it could put a scarlet letter on you. We don't want that. So if you're going to do, I'm not saying don't do X. And in fact, I've seen X successfully pulled off, especially by athletes. A lot of coaches are on X over the many years. It used to be Twitter. It's a very easy way to say congratulations on this game or this goal or this win, or we're playing this team this coming weekend. Let's get everyone riled up. And it's a quick way for, particularly guys, I find, to like shoot out short, quick, public comments about things, promoting or supporting their teammates or their players. So I have seen it work, particularly with athletes, as sort of like, and also a place to post photos or maybe short clips of them performing in their sport or winning a trophy or shaking hands with a particular team member on the opposing team, or doing a coin flip or something at the beginning of the game. Like I've seen it particularly work well for athletes. And I think it could work for female athletes too, but I do happen to see many more male athletes partake in X than I do female athletes. And again, I'm talking specifically at the high school level. Obviously, professional athletes might do it too. I don't really follow that as much. But in terms of my students and who have had success with it, they've mainly been male athletes. And it's as long as, again, similar to what I've been saying really since we started talking about Facebook and TikTok in this series, it's very important that if you're going to have a profile on X, if you're going to do it, you have to have a real understanding of how are you framing your personality? How are you framing your brand on X if you're going to go that route? Because this is all going to be public if it's under your name. Now, if it's not under your name, don't think it won't be somehow traced back to you. So don't go playing around with some faux persona and think it could not get traced back to you if there are enough hints of who you really are. Obviously, I know X has different ways in which you could potentially hide that too, but don't do anything that can be traced back to you if you're not going to be proud of what is on your X feed, if you're going to actually have an X profile. But if you're going to be public about it, if you're going to have your official name on there, I would try to keep it in line with your public persona that, again, would be professional enough and polite enough to rise above what many admissions officers may view as sort of the mess that is X these days in their view. Again, I'm not going to take a stand on my view personally on X. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of the average or the median admissions officer at a selective college or university. Again, many of whom may have fought internally for that college or university to stop having its X profile publish posts. So you want probably to look at your list and then look to see how many of them still post on X. And if a number of them stop posting on X back in the past, you may be very wrong to go and start an X profile. And honestly, I would go so far as to say, if you have not already started an X profile and you're a high school student and you're thinking of starting an X profile, don't start an X profile. Just don't do it. Because earlier in the series, we talk about other social media platforms that I think are going to benefit you far more. The risk involved with X, even though it gives you a fewer number of characters, and that's a positive, I don't see many other positives with X just because of the polluted viewpoint. That comes along, the baggage, if you will, that many individuals hold with X. And it goes back to a lot of things with the 2020 election. And even before that point, it was a very popular outpost for Donald Trump. And again, I personally want to make very clear, I am not taking a political position here. I'm agnostic politically in this video, but I'm calling it as I see it. And the facts are that the vast majority of admissions officers are progressive, and they associate in their minds X with either the pre-booting of Donald Trump or the reinstatement of Donald Trump. And they can't get it around their heads that X, of course, is a big world and it exists beyond politics and Donald Trump. But many are really hyper-focused on that element, that characteristic of X. So I would not start with X. I mean, if you are an extremely savvy social media user and you have a very successful LinkedIn page, TikTok page, Facebook page, and Instagram page, then maybe we can talk about you sort of just parlaying that into X. But I would not start with X. It's like you do not start with multivariable calculus and math. You start with algebra 1. And I would say that X is a very much differential equations, multivariable calculus at this point to be a starter on X. So I would not do it. And again, this is with all due respect to everyone's personal preferences. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. I want to say that again and again and again. So, but you have to understand your audience, and your audience for the purposes of this video are the admissions officers at the colleges that are selective in the United States of America. So I would not start an X. If you happen to have an X, and again, especially if you're an athlete, you do not have to turn it off, but just keep it focused on athletics or keep it focused on whatever your gig is. Like if you do like to post short movies because you're a movie maker or something, and you like to post it not just on Instagram, but maybe you do like to post it on X, by all means do it, but stay focused on your art, your craft, your work. Do not venture into the big fight or social issue of the day or the political drama of the week or the month. Stay focused on your thing. Now, maybe your thing is politics. Maybe you are that rare student who's very brave and has a lot of moxie and does want to share his or her political views stridently and often and hourly even. X could be a good platform for you. Keep it respectful. That's really the key I want to make very clear. If you really want to brand, and you already are branding yourself as this little politico, and you're into politics, maybe you're the class president, maybe you're also involved in politics in your community, in your state, whatever, or even national politics, and you really want to get into the arena, okay, I guess you can do X, but just please keep it respectful so that and hopefully sort of high-end political discussion as opposed to naming insults to your enemies. I mean, please don't go down that route, regardless of your politics, left, center, or right, up or down, black or white, yellow or pink. I don't care. Please be respectful, because if they happen to fall upon your X page and they see you're really stridently political, that's not enough to say you're not going to get in, especially if they already sort of got a sense you were political from your Common App essay and your resume and other parts of your application. But if they see you getting down and dirty in the mud, you know what they say? When you wrestle with pigs, you get muddy, and the pig likes it. And that can happen very quickly on X. So please don't wrestle with pigs. Don't get muddy. Regardless of your political persuasion, keep it high end, keep it classy. State your positions if you want to state your positions proudly, if that's part of the brand that you're selling on your college application and your extracurricular resume, which, by the way, maybe you have an extracurricular resume and it's not the right format. You should definitely click below this video to learn how to put together an extraordinary extracurricular resume. It's my short course, How to Build an Extraordinary Extracurricular Resume. That's actually the name of it. And it costs just a few dollars, and it's definitely worth your time as you're putting together your awesome overall college application. So definitely click the link below this video to that course. But if they already are going to get a sense that you're really into politics and you like to fight out different social or cultural issues in your high school community or your local community, then I guess it would go to figure that you are also maybe doing that on X. But again, please fight it out respectfully and civilly. Civilly, that's a key word. Be civil. Be civil. Don't get dragged down into the muck that you could get dragged into on any of these sites, frankly. But more likely, frankly, this can really get dirty on a site like X because it's very word-based, right? Whereas, the other sites, particularly TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, are much more sort of very quick words or images or moving images. Twitter or X is just almost all word-based. Obviously, you can post videos, you can do images as well, but the real trade of X is trading barbs or trading tweets, as they used to be called, back and forth, words back and forth, quick snapshot, punchy little, X's or tweets. And so that's where people of all persuasions, of all ages, get into trouble on X. So please, please, please be careful. Do not start with X if you haven't done the other ones first. I would say this is sort of your Mount Everest. If you're going to really do it, you got to be really, really socially savvy, really more so than even TikTok. Because you could really rub someone the wrong way just by who you're somehow liking or connecting to on X, because I think everyone is on sort of the edge of their seat on X. It's sort of like a roller coaster where some of these others are more of like a little slower kids ride, relatively speaking. So again, I would not start on X. There's very little upside. But again, I talked about a couple ways in which it could potentially work for you depending on your niche or depending on your persona, your true persona, and it might align with it in certain cases. Good luck. Goodbye and good luck if you go on to X and you want to share that either proactively in your college application or if they just stumble upon your name on X. Now, because they may want to see, is this a kid who's on X? Let's see what his social media platform looks like. And you want to keep it clean. Please, please keep it clean. Now, there are others, and these include Reddit. These include Snapchat. These include Discord. I would say, and then there's also Twitch, Be Real. There are others out there. I will say this. You might already have presence on these sites. Please do not use your real names on them, if at all possible. That's the best advice I can give. I do not really think that you're going to build out a persona that is going to be a positive on these sites, most likely. I mean, in very rare cases, like if you're helping individuals on Discord with like a computer science or tech issue, and you're constantly doing it, theoretically they'll see a record of you being a really helpful like help desk operator on there. But in terms of Twitch, in terms of Snapchat, in terms of Reddit in particular, that those are also dark alleys or rabbit or deep holes that I would avoid going down. In most cases, under your actual name, unless there's something you feel like you're really proud that you want to share that you can't share in some other way. I mean, these are very exceptional cases in most cases. And I'm not saying it won't apply to you, but I sort of lump them all sort of even after X in the sense that if you're going to be on there, maybe trading anonymous information or personal information with some friends, especially like on Snapchat, like do it. And I think you can't even do it publicly as a under 18-year-old on Snapchat. But on the others, even if they let you publicly post your real name, I would not. And you can always even say like you've been someone who's given helpful advice on Reddit or Discord or something. And you can say it's been under a different name or something, and you can include the link to that if you're somehow proud, if that's something that you can do or want to do. But again, I put this at the end of the series because really this video is about X and all the other things are sort of ancillary. I don't really look at them as anywhere in the same league as the other ones that we talked about in this series, but they obviously have their own purposes in society and the online world today. But I think including a link to them or being proud of them is something, or creating a brand around them is harder to do and or less of the goal of most users of those platforms. So that's why I'm not really doing individual videos on those. Again, there could be cases, and you may want to mention in the comments cases where you feel like identifying yourself as who you really are on any of those platforms may make sense, or another reason why X makes sense for you. By all means, give me comments and I could change my mind. I'm an open-minded person. I may be older, but I'm open-minded still. You have to be willing to question your assumptions. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. And all the videos in this series, when you're determining whether or not you want to start or continue, maintain, or shut down a social media page of yours as it relates to marching toward college admissions at a selective American college or university. If you like this video, please go to my website, collegemeister.com, to learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one. If you also like this video, I would say please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel and share it with your family and friends. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.